To take the theory literally in terms of the Turner syndrome,
yes.
How do you propose that the man and woman would be able to reproduce if the woman doesn't have any ovaries?
Well, Turner syndromes have no ovaries generally, but we know few cases with ovaries atrophied and nevertheless no cells with 2X chromosome. And there are few cases of Turner syndrome who have reproduced in our species. Then, and I said by prudence that in mouse, the female with 1X is perfectly fertile. Then, if the structure, the genetic structure of the first human being from which the first mother was taken out was not entirely identical with our actual physiology, which is likely, then in that case it does not follow that a Turner syndrome on that kind should be absolutely sterile, because we know that some of them very rarely are fertile. So there is no impossibility absolutely. But I agree with you that it means that the uni-couple system is difficult to use and should be used only very rarely. And I suppose that it is correct, because if we had a mechanism by which species could be produced easily, there would be no species, because the shift would be that frequent that new species will appear every year, and there would be no human species. There would be no human family. There would not be one family of men. There would be many different families. It does not exist. Then we need that the mechanism does not work that good, that often. It has to work very perfectly once in a long while.
Okay, thanks.
This may be a political question. I remember at the when you were cross-examined in that testimony in Tennessee.
Yes.
You said there are no other opinions
about
the origin of life at conception.
Yes.
Well, has anybody? I mean, that was really sticking your neck out. Did anybody step forward and give another opinion?
No, I've never heard that.
I wish Judge Blackmun would know that.
What? I'm sorry.
The reason I'm steamed up on this is because when they gave the Roe and Wade decision,
yes,
the judge said, since scientists haven't agreed on this,
yes,
who are we lawyers to be able to decide?
Well,
that was 20 years ago.
You have to remember that magistrates can lie. And secondly, Roe versus Wade is an old story, and genetics have made enormous progress since that time. Now, actually, I've not heard any geneticist saying that there could be another beginning of a new individual than conception.
Yes.
Some of them say, and many of them say, that they would not give recognition to that new system, recognition of the dignity of a human being. But that is not a scientific matter. It's a purely sociological, physiological, theological, metaphysical, but not matter of fact. As a matter of fact, I have never seen, for the moment, any geneticist telling that he has seen a new individual beginning at another time, that fecundation.
Thank you.
Dr. Lejeune, I've read about some archaeological evidence that seems to indicate that Neanderthal man had some of the characteristics he referred to, such as looking after disabled members and making implements and so on and so forth. I was wondering how, if at all, you would try and fit in Neanderthal men with your conception, or what relation Neanderthal men might have had to the beginning of the human race.
No, I don't understand what you are referring to. To what man? What's the name? It's the name.
Neanderthal.
The
Ne
Neanderthal.
Yeah.
Oh, Neanderthal is still.
Sorry. Yes.
Neanderthal. Neanderthal. Because it's in Germany. Neanderthal man still exists. Have talked with him. Yes, yes, yes. I'm not joking. He's a very nice man. I can tell you why I know him that well. It was because I wanted to look at the chromosome of the Tiwi people. Tiwi people are living in a little island up north of the Reef Barrier of Australia. And they are Aboriginal people, and I wanted to look at their chromosomes. And when I went there, I discovered, I knew that, but I discovered because I'd never seen them, that they were pure Neanderthal people. Because if you were looking at them from profile, you cannot see the eyes. The eyes are so deeply set that you don't see them. They have an enormous barrier of bone over the eyes, so that it's like me with my hand. Not exactly, but that's strong that if you look at the skull in the symmetry, and if you don't notice that they are fresh, you would, by any criteria of diagnosis, tell that they are Neanderthal. The Neanderthal man still exists. Yes, you can speak with him. He's a nice man, and he does not differ from Homo sapiens sapiens because he is Homo sapiens sapiens himself. And that is demonstrated in the little cave of Kafsa in Israel. They have found in the same cave typical skull of Neanderthal and typical skull of Homo sapiens modern. But what is to be remarked is that the Homo sapiens modern is represented not by grown-up but by children. And if you look at the Tiwis, either the boys or the girls, they have exactly the same shape that a baby from here. It's only after puberty that they begin to develop this enormous bone. So that if you look at young ones in the symmetry, you would see that they are modern. And if you look at them 20 years later, you would suppose that they are 10,000 years older. And that is just a mistake.
Thank you.